let's go to page 326. This lesson is to graph parabolas whose equation have in the form of y minus x equal to a times x minus h squared, and to find the vertices and axes of symmetry. Okay, so if you have equation y equal to x squared, and if you're going to graph that, what you do is make a table. So when x equal to negative 3, right? So x equal to negative 3, so negative 3 squared will give you 9. When x equal to negative 2, so negative 2 squared will give you 4. Okay? When x equal to negative 1 squared will give you positive 1. Okay? X equal to 0, it gives you 0. When x equal to 1, 1 squared give you 1. When x equal to 2, 2 squared give you 4. When x equal to 3, 3 squared give you 9. So once you make the table, you plot all the points. So the first point is negative 3, 9. So you go negative 3, 9. Next one is negative 2, 4. Then it's negative 1, 1. Then you got 0, 0. You got 1, 1. You got 2, 4. And you got 3, 9. So once you plot all the dots, okay, so again, first you make the table, plot all the points, you connect the dots, and you get this graph. Okay, so this is how you graph. So this is a graph for y equal to x squared. And when you have, so over here, there's a couple terms. This line over here, this is called the axis of symmetry. Okay, so this means the two halves are equal. So this is your axis of symmetry from your geometry. Okay, and then, or you can just call it axis. Okay, and next term is a vertex. Vertex is the tip over here. Okay, this point is called a vertex, and this point is called a vertex. Okay, now there are certain characteristics of the graph that you need to know. So this one over here, the coefficient is 1, right? But what happens if you change the coefficient? What happens if you change the number in front? What will happen? Well, if you look over here, so when y equal to 2x squared, so when the a equal to 2, this means this number tells you how fast the graph is changing. So when the number is really high, the graph is going to change very fast, so it's going to be very skinny. Okay? Whereas over here the number is low, that means the graph is going to go up slower, therefore the opening is bigger. Okay? Again, this will go up slowly. This will go up really fast. So higher the number, the graph will go up much faster, so it becomes more skinny. Okay. The next thing is, look at the characteristic over here. So notice in this equation, that means if you kind of put in the standard form, this is x, so it becomes x minus 0. So this shows you where the vertex is. So you see the 0, so vertex is going to be 0. Now if you have minus 3, then the vertex is going to be at 3. Okay? And the reason for that is you figure out what number will give you 0. Okay? So over here, so to get 0, x will equal to 0. That's why it's over here. Now over here, to get a 0, you need to have x equal to 3. So when x equal to 3, then this will become 0, so y will become 0. So over here, you need to get x equal to 3, and that's why you see x equal to 3. Okay? Now over here, when it's plus 3, right? So how are you going to make this part equal to 0? Well, x had to equal to negative 3. So x had to equal to negative 3, see that? So that's therefore, you need to get negative 3 to get a vertex. Okay, so this part, the parentheses part, control your vertex. Okay, so this over here controls the sideway. Now you're going to have a number over here to controls up and down. Okay, and that's the next part right over here. Okay, on your next graph over here. See over here, there's no y part, so this will give you 0 over here. But when you have this part over here, you can think about how you're going to make this side equal to 0. So you're going to kind of do the opposite. So to make this side equal to 0, y will equal to 3. So your vertex is going to be right over here. Okay? And over here, if you have this kind of situation, see over here, you got y plus 3. So how are you going to make this part equal to 0? How are you going to make the y part equal to 0? Well, y have to be negative 3, right? So that's why you have to get negative 3 to get a vertex. So the parentheses part controls your vertex. Okay? So here's your standard form. Okay? Your standard form is y minus k equal to a times x minus h squared. Okay, and so these two numbers, so this number controls how fast the graph is changing. So higher the number, the more narrow the graph will be. The lower the number, the wider will be. This tells you where the starting point will be. And this is called a vertex. Okay, so your vertex has coordinate of h and k. Now make sure it's minus. Okay, make sure that the standard form is minus. Okay, and in this case, the axis would be the h. So wherever the vertex is, that's where your axis would be. Okay. Now to do some graphing, there's also there are certain characteristics. Okay, so so when you're doing the graphing, so let's go and look at the graph we have earlier. So let's look at the graph in the very beginning on page 326 on the y equal to x squared. And again, we're using the table, so you're going to get 0, 0, and we have the 1, 1, negative 1. So I'm just repeat the graph we have earlier. Okay, and 3, we get 9. Okay. Oh, wait. 2, 4. Is 9. Okay, so the part I want you to focus on is this part right over here. Notice that when you go over 1, this is 1. Now notice the next part, when you go over, okay, you're going to get 1, and it's going to be 3. The next part you go over is 1 and 5. So you notice the pattern. So the part that you have to go up is 1, 3, 5. And the reason for that is because you have the equation y equal to x squared, right? So the x is changing at a square, right? So if you notice that 0 squared equal to 0, 1 squared equal to 1, 2 squared equal to 4, and 3 squared equal to 9, and so forth. 4 squared equal to 16. And notice the differential. Okay, the difference between these two is 1, and that's where this 1 comes from. Okay, the difference between the next set is 3. That's where this came from, right? So this 3 is the difference between the 1 square and the 2 square. And notice this is 5 and this is 7. Notice it's odd number, so it would be 1, 3, 5. Okay. So instead of making the table all the time, so what you do is find the vertex. Once you find the vertex, you just go over and you go 1 and go over get 3, go over 5, go over you get 7. Okay, so notice these are magic numbers. Okay, now if there's an a, you have to multiply this by a. So we're going to cover that as we go over more examples. Okay. Okay, so let's go over some examples. Okay, so let's go to example 1. So page 329, example 1. So you want to graph y minus 5 equal to negative x plus 2 squared. Okay? So again, the trick is get the vertex. So vertex is going to be from here. Your vertex is going to be negative 2, right? Vertex means you have to make this equal to 0. So you need to have a negative 2 and 5. Okay? So vertex is negative 2 and 5. So negative 2, 5. So that's your vertex right over here. Okay? And now we're going to use our trick, 1, 3, 5, okay? But notice that A is negative 1. So when you make the table, okay, you're going to get 1, 3, 5, right? So that's a trick over here, the 1, 3, 5. Then you have to multiply by A. So A equal to negative 1, okay? So the number you need to get would be negative 1, negative 3, negative 5. So negative means you have to go down. That means when you go over, the first time you go over, you have to go down 1 because it's negative 1. Next time you go over, you have to go down 3. Okay? Next time you go over, you have to go down 5. Okay? And the other side would be just symmetrical. So once you get one side, the other side would be the same. You just move it over, move it over, move it over, and that's your graph. Okay? So this is a nice trick to use. That way you don't have to make the table to make a whole bunch of points. Okay? And so from here, your axes, so your axes would be x equal to negative 2. Okay? Because that's that, right? Axes go through the vertex. So that's your axes. And what else? Say label the vertex. So your vertex is here, and the axis x equal to negative 2. Okay? And so that's it for example 1. Okay, the next part, you talk about intercepts. Intercept is where it crosses over the axes. So when you have a graph like that, there will be no x-intercept because it does not cross over the x. And in this case, it crosses over the y at 2, so y-intercept is 2. So again, intercept is where you cross over the axes. So in this case, x-intercept is negative 2 because it touches the axis at 2, at negative 2. And y-intercept is negative 1. Over here, the x-intercept would be 1.5 and negative 1.5. And the y-intercept would be negative 3. Okay? So again, x-intercept is where you cross over the x-axis. Y-intercept is where you cross over the y-axis. Okay, so now let's go and go to example 2. Okay, example 2, you want to graph y plus 6 equal to 2 times x plus 1 squared. Okay, so for this graph, okay, again, right away, our vertex, okay, the vertex over here, so right away, vertex is going to be negative 1 and negative 6. Okay, so your vertex would be negative 1, negative 6. And okay, so negative 1, negative 6. So that's going to be our vertex right over here. Okay, so that's your negative 1, negative 6. Now to graph again, you can make a table if you want to, but table it takes too long. So again, I'm going to use the trick of the 1, 3, 5. Okay, this trick over here. Okay, so I'm going to get my 1, 3, 5. Okay, but you have to be careful now. The a is equal to 2. So a equal to 2. So you have to multiply the table by 2. So a equal to 2. So 1 becomes 2, 3 becomes 6, 5 becomes 10. Okay. And this is positive, so you have to go up. So that means when you go 1 over, the first time you go over, the first time you go over, you have to go up 2. Next one you go over, you have to go up 6. Okay? And after that, the next one over, you have to go up by 10. It will be too much already, so we don't need that. And the other half, you just use a symmetry. So this one will give you this point over here. This point will give you this point over here. And just go and connect the dots. So again, once you know the trick, the graphing is very simple, very quick. Okay? And again, the axis, so you got a vertex, the axis would be, this one right over here would be this over here. So whatever your x is for the vertex, they would be your axis. So it would be x equal to negative 1. Okay? And that's it. Okay? So again, once you know how to sketch, the graph is very simple. Okay. Now let's go to, so far you have the equation, you have the graph. The next example, they give you information, you have to look for the equation. Okay. So example 3, find the equation, so you're looking for this equation. So this equation is the standard form. So you got y minus k equal to a times x minus h squared. And the vertex, so what you do is, you have to use the information to the equation. So vertex is 1 comma negative 2, and you have the point at 3, 6. So let's go and use this information. Well, vertex is 1, negative 2, so that means this will becomes y plus 2 equal to a times x minus 1. Okay, so what you do is you just put this in here because that's your h and k. So you put this over here, that's how I get this. Put this in here, now you got minus negative 2, that's how I get plus 2. So substitute this into here, substitute this into here, so that I get that so far. Okay, now next you have to, so use up this information. Now you have to use this information to find a. Okay, now you want to go off to the side so it doesn't clutter up your major steps, because if you do it over here, when you get caught up, you're gonna lose track of what you're doing. So what you do is go off to the side, okay, and so you write the equation one more time. Okay, so go off to the side. So you're gonna use this to find a. So when you have a point, that's your x and the y. Okay, so when you have any general point, that's your x and the y. So substitute this into here. So you got 6 plus 2 equal to a times 3 minus 1. Okay, so that's your substitution. So you got 8 equal to a times 2. So divide by 2, divide by 2. So a equal to 4. So once you use this point to find a, you come back over here and to finish up your equation. So you got y plus 2 equal to 4 times x, oh, forgot a square, minus 1 square. Okay, and the wait, 8, double check my math. Oh, forgot the square. So you have to have a square, so this would be 4. There we go. So we have to divide by 4. Divide by 4. So a equal to 2. Yeah, forgot a square. Okay, so again, let's go back over here again. So you have y plus 2 equal to a times x minus 1 square, right? That's a square. So when you substitute the 6 into here, 3 into here, you get 6 plus 2 equal to a times 3 minus 1 square. So 6 plus 2 is 8. 8 times the 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 square will give you 4. So divide both sides by 4 to solve for a, so a equal to 2. Therefore, the a is equal to 2, not 4. Okay, so forgot the square. So once you do that, and that is your equation. Okay, so be careful when you're copying. So again, write out everything. It will cut down on careless mistakes. And also, when you write everything down, it helps you to visualize, and it's easy to catch careless mistakes.